Hello, collectors. This is John, the 3D80s kid, coming at you with something a bit different this time. I'm not going to be doing a card soup review of last month. In all honesty, the getting it done last month made me feel stressed out, and I just don't want to bring stress into what I'm doing for this hobby. And I know it's unfortunate a lot of you were enjoying what I was putting together for that. In fact, I actually had someone providing me recommendations the last few weeks. Eddie over at Eddie's Cardboard Chaos actually was pointing me to some videos to make sure I looked at and highlighted. So thank you for that, Eddie. But I don't know when or if I am actually going to put together another one of those again. So just wanted to be honest and upfront. This last month, with leading into holidays, and then the big thing that happened for me and my family is that I took my three boys and wife and myself to Disneyland and Universal Studios down in the Los Angeles area for a big family vacation that was meant to kind of be our last big vacation before my oldest son turns 18 in a few months. We'd done that trip before, like 8.5 years ago when they were 5, 7, and 9. And this was going to be a return trip that they would all remember and make some new memories. So we did have fun on that, but unfortunately, I also brought back with me a cold, which started with my oldest son, and he passed it around. And so I'm a bit fuzzy right now and not able to put maximum energy in what I'm producing. But I still wanted to put the message out there just talk with you folks, you collectors, fellow collectors, that of what's going on, because I did want to advertise up front that there will be another trade night. Our first attempt back in December was a bit haphazard. I never done it before. Now, at least, I'm going to go into this next one, which is going to be Sunday, the 28th of January, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, my time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. You can figure out if you're not in one of those two time zones, since that's generally what gets broadcast for most of the country is either Pacific or Eastern. But so the focus is going to be vintage baseball cards for this trade night. So we're talking 1980 and earlier only. And going in, if you're going to come on screen with your cards, I would like you to also have an approximate value that you're looking for as a return on those cards so that people can enter into negotiations knowing your expectations. And on that front, I also wanted to then discuss, I have never in my life actually traded a card, but I am going to attempt it because one of the other things discuss is that I wanted to say to not necessarily be afraid of changing your focus, changing your course in your collecting. Because I've spent the last couple years accumulating these SGC graded Hall of Fame cards that you see behind me. And when I initially got started, I was really excited about the 1960 top sets, as you can see, a whole bunch of those. Then I got interested in 53 Bowman, so you can see a bunch of those. And then I also fell in love with 1972 tops, so you see a ton of Hall of Famers in those. And, after looking at those cards and then being in this community and having exposure to more sets, I have ultimately decided that rather than having so much focus on my favorite sets, I would rather change my wall to have some samples from every major set post-war. So We're talking starting out where, like right now, I have the 49 Leaf card there of Bobby Dorr and the 50 Bowman and the 51 Bowman. I'm going to try and get an example of every Bowman and then the tops vintage cards. Also going to try to get a 63 Fleer up there as part of my run of having one card of every Hall of Famer. And so that's where lots of these cards behind me are going to now be on my trade block. And going into that event, I need to then figure out how I'm going to price them. For those of you who don't have a subscription to any of the services, whether it be Card Ladder, Market Movers, Vintage Card Pricing, aka VCP, which I recently added a subscription myself to because I'm in the realm of looking at auctions, and that's much easier to pull past auction pricing data from that rather than trying to go to every individual auction house. We're you're going to need to pull your data from some source, and easy free sources that I have encountered are sellthepeak.com, which can give you all the recent sales from eBay, as well as 130point.com. Either of those is going to be able to pull you eBay pricing for cards that, like most of these post-war that are in mass production and mass sales volume. So have your cards ready, have the pricing ready, and also be able to say, at least with some narrowing of what you are looking for in a trade. And once again, I will be the medium as far as communication goes with email, using the 4collectors@yahoo.com address to try to facilitate that. But I am going to be changing this wall. I mean, I got so close to being able to complete all the X's in my spreadsheet. There's some satisfaction in completing a spreadsheet list. And I was only a Satchel Paige, Burke Ross, Joe DiMaggio, and then a Jackie Robinson away from completing everything that would be post-war cards. And I have decided to scrap that. And like even my first example of something that is going to replace the 60 top Stan Musial, I found this very nice looking 1.5 of a 59 Stan Musial for $30 total, shipping included. So, and also I'm going to be replacing the Early Win card number 1 there that I got unimposed in an auction back while back for $16. I found a 54 Bowman of his that's in an SGC 5 that I won for only $22. So that is on its way as well. So, also, it is very difficult to just completely abstain from buying anything, is what I have found. Because if you aren't aware from my channel, I am in the pursuit of saving for a Babe Ruth card that I am likely to be seeking at the National this year, and trying to save for a specific one that's going to require nearly all of my annual hobby funds over the course of time of saving. And I can't help myself but to trickle in the occasional cheaper card like I have here. So it's very difficult to get nothing new ever. But so I'm not going to shame myself for that. I'm comfortable with it. I love this new card. It's a beautiful blue color. I found that I am most drawn to like the blue or the yellow background cards myself in terms of color, which but I'm going to try to mix it up. So if you're interested in any 60 Tops Hall of Famers or 72s or some of these 53 Bowman, they're going to be on the trade block, and we're going to have other dealers there or other collectors joining in, trading what they have. Some cases it's doubles. Some cases they just decided they don't want something anymore. So I hope you will join us for the trade night, and just, you know, don't be afraid to change, what you're doing just to make yourself happier. And that's ultimately what I'm doing, is that I was happy with this for a long time, and I've just grown to the point where now I want to be able to see samples of lots of different sets and not just only my favorites. So, and I'm, developing more of an appreciation for the ones that aren't even listed as my favorites. When I first started into pre-war, I wasn't keen on artsy cards as opposed to photos, and I think I've fallen in love with the artistic cards now, like even the strip cards, the Goudies. I was more keen to like a 39 play ball photo card than I would be to those, but I am really just loving baseball cards, loving collecting, and loving the community involved. And I'm sorry I'm not going to be able to produce those for a while. Uh, that's why I ended up seeing Theo doing that annual roundup video of favorite videos. That was kind of my genre, and he picked up the torch there for us on this channel. Um, but thanks everybody for listening, and keep collecting, and I will see you trade night.